All right, so I am at the cabin in Andover, Maine. Dan, go here. Hello. Riley is downstairs. It is Monday, September 23rd. Day number 144, I believe. It's the morning, and I'm about ready to get a ride back to the trail. This is the dining room where we had a wonderful dinner last night, and it's tradition at the cabin to sign the bottom of the dining room table. So I'm gonna get under here. Look at all these signatures. And this table, I heard, is gonna go to the Appalachian Trail Museum in Pine Grove Furnace State Park when eventually they retire this hostel. So I'm gonna find some space to sign for Riley and I. There's not much space. Not much space. All right. I am gonna sign right here. Van Gogh plus Riley. Novo. Novo 2024. Okay, that's good. There we are. So.
Did you find a good spot?
I did, yes. It took me a little. Just such a beautiful room. Look at the stained glass window there. That picture there is of Earl Schaefer, the first thru hiker of the AT, when he did his 50th anniversary hike, and he stopped in here in 1998. Riley, come on. All right, so Riley and I are finally back on trail here. That is South Arm Road back there. And that's where we got picked up last night, and we just got dropped off by a guy named Don, who is Honey's son. He helps out at the hostel, at the cabin. And we are climbing up a mountain now called Old Blue Mountain. It's gonna be a steep climb to start the day. It's a nice day today, nice and dry. And it's a little bit after 11 a.m. right now. Come on, Riley. There's people down there at the road who I believe are getting ready to hike. Come on, Riley. And they're talking. There's like 3 people down there. So Riley's like, hey, there's people down there. Why are we hiking? Let's go back to the people. Because they're not moving, Riley. It's already late in the day, man. So I had a wonderful stay at the cabin. Very glad I was able to stay there. Honey is 92 years old. She's doing very well. She seems 92 seems pretty old, but she has a little trouble hearing, but as long as you speak loudly. Riley, come on, we gotta go. She can hear you, and she's got a good sense of humor. She seems to be doing very well. She did mention she's just recently had a hand problem, like with her right hand. She's said she's, Riley, come on. I am fighting with Riley here. We cannot wait on these people, Riley. We need to go. See, she said she's had some issue where she lost some feeling in her fingers. So she's seeing a doctor, but she's not very happy with what the doctor is recommending. So hopefully she'll get that figured out. But yeah, I really liked the environment at the cabin. It was just me and one other section hiker named Darlene who were staying there. And they were just extremely friendly. It was really nice to just, not just, but they were just extremely welcoming. It was like they were, you know, a family friend who were inviting me over to dinner. And it was nice to be able to eat. I mean, of course the food was great, but it was also nice to be able to eat as a group and listen to, you know, partake in the conversation. And I've heard before getting there, I'd heard that Honey just has a lot of AT stories. So she told the story about Earl Schaefer. Riley, come on, buddy. This is not going to get easier. This is not going to get easier. I think they are starting their hike and they're coming up now. So Riley is wagging his tail and he just wants to wait on them. So at least when they catch up to us and pass, then Riley will be motivated to go. All right, Mr. Riley and I are back here. Those three hikers, they caught up to us and passed us. And then they took a break and we caught up to them. And then as soon as we caught up to them, they started hiking again. And then they got a little bit ahead of us. Come on, Riley. And then they got to a view spot on the right side of the trail and they decided to take another break. And Riley and I weren't too far behind them at that point. Riley, come on, man. We got to go, dude. So they're not making it easy on us because Riley knows they're back there. And now he's walking with me a little bit, but every once in a while he acts like he's a ton of bricks and I have to nudge him along. But they will catch up to us. That's what they said when we left. They said, we'll catch up to you. And Riley, you'll be fine. I'm just tugging on you to make sure we try to continue to make progress here. But I'm not tugging on you now. Now you're tugging on me. So yeah. So we've done a good bit of the uphill for Old Blue. And I don't think we're at the top yet, but it seems like we're just at a I guess a respite in the climb. It's probably going to continue going up in a bit, but we're on a flat spot right now, which is nice. Staying at the cabin last night was a very nice way to lift my spirits. I was super excited to get there, and often when you're super excited for something, I do know that you're kind of just increasing the chance that you're going to be disappointed because something isn't going to live up to what your expectations are. But that was not the case at all with my stay last night. I was just very, very excited to get there and very pleased with our stay. It was just absolutely wonderful. Riley and I were able to, we didn't stay in the bunk room. We probably could have stayed in the bunk room because Darlene didn't have any problems with dogs. But generally they keep dogs out of the bunk room just in case anybody who's in the bunk room doesn't like dogs. Yeah, so when I called Honey last night from the top of Mooney Mountain, we were 1.7 miles away from the road to be picked up, and that was how I arranged for the pickup. I mentioned I had a dog, and she said that I could either stay in the foyer or stay in the trailer. And Don first, when we got there, Don first showed me the trailer, and there were 2 beds in there. It looked very nice, and I was initially like, oh yeah, this looks great, we'll stay here. But then I saw the foyer, and it was a little less elaborate than the trailer, but it had 2 beds with, you know, plenty of blankets and a couple of night tables, and it had some outlets in there. And the foyer was attached to the house, whereas the trailer was like just across from the house, parked in the yard. Come on, Riley. And so I changed my mind and said we'll stay in the foyer, just because I figured it would be a lot more convenient, so that we could access the house and, you know, and the kitchen area when we wanted to, and the bathroom as well, and we wouldn't have to walk outside to get there. So that worked out quite well for us. Riley very much enjoyed sleeping on the comfy bed, and so did I. Riley, if you're not gonna walk, let me go first. Let me lead here. Another thing I was able to do in Andover, well, a big thing I was able to do was give all my electronic devices a full night's worth of charge. And believe it or not, I have 2 somewhat large power banks, and one of them, Riley, come on, my non-Anchor brand power bank. Come on, Riley. Riley, come on. Riley, stop acting like a ton of bricks. Come on. Riley is walking with me now. For now. Until you stop again, Riley. Anyway, so yeah, my non-Anchor brand one, I plugged the power banks in right when I got there, so it was probably close to 7 p.m. maybe 6:30 or 7 when I eventually plugged them in. And the non-Anchor one finished fully charging. It didn't finish fully charging until this morning, probably around 9 or 10 o'clock. And my Anchor power bank, it only got a little more than 3/4 of the way charged. It seems so crazy how long the power banks take to charge. So at least I was able to get a full night's worth of charge in, because if I had tried to charge just, you know, in a few hours, I would have just gotten very little charge compared to what I was able to get with a full night stay. And I was able to charge up all my GoPro batteries and my 2 headlamps. So that was very good. It was that was a big reason for me definitely wanting to go into Andover, in addition to staying at the cabin. And I also have acquired, in the various hiker boxes that I've picked stuff up at, a few things that I've decided I like, but I don't really need to carry with me the rest of the way. So I was able to stop by the post office before heading out, and mail a package home of things that I don't think I need to carry with me the rest of the way, but I do like and want to be able to use later on. So that helped me to reduce my base weight just a little bit, which is, my pack is very heavy now, so any little bit I can reduce my weight is very good. And we stopped by the grocery store in town. It's called Mills Market. They have a light grocery selection, as well as a deli that makes prepared foods. And I picked up 2 3.5 pound, they didn't have a large selection of dog food, but they basically had 3.5 pound bags to choose from. So I got 2 3.5 pound bags of pedigree adult dog food. So pretty heavy on dog food. 2 times 3.5 is 7 pounds. But I also have plenty of human food now. Yesterday I told Scorp that I had experimented with Riley's dog treats, and he had some extra food on him, and he offered me some pumpkin seeds and some from his snack bag, and he also had a snack bag of sunflower seeds and seasoned peanuts. So he was generous enough to give me those yesterday as we were hiking, and that was very much appreciated. They were absolutely delicious eating them yesterday, but they actually had a good amount of food in the hiker box at the cabin, and so I was able to do most of my resupply from the hiker box. Pretty much all my resupply from the hiker box. I did get a 7-ounce bag of Skittles at Mills Market. And the reason I got Skittles is because I was talking to Scorp yesterday, and we were talking about food, and Scorp was telling me what he usually gets when he needs to resupply. Riley's stopping again. Now he's going. And he said he likes to do basically the same thing. What, Riley? Yes, I know there are 3 people behind us, and you just want to wait until they catch up, however long that may be. And I don't think that is acceptable. I don't think so. I am sorry. I don't think that's acceptable. So if we just continue on, you know what? Sometimes when this happens, I can just take a short break, which I think I'll do now. And then when I get up after the short break, Riley will see me get up, and he'll be sometimes motivated to go and kind of forgetting of the people behind us. So I'm going to try that right now. Of course, if they are close enough where they're talking and Riley can hear them, then he's not going to forget about them. But so I am rambling on a lot this morning because I'm in such a good mood. I really worked hard yesterday to hike all the way to South Arm Road. I was really trying to keep my pace up so I wasn't slowing down. Scorp. Scorp's generally a faster hiker than me. The only reason we're at the same place on the trail is because he takes lots of zeros, and Riley and I do not. Scorp is actually taking a 0 in Andover today at a hiker place called Pine Ellis, which is like actually in town, so he can just walk to the general store. Whereas the cabin was like about 3.5 miles outside of town, so I had to get a shuttle to the store this morning. But yeah, I was hiking with high intensity yesterday. Like we did take a break about every 2 hours. But while we were hiking, I was definitely hiking with higher intensity because there was another guy with me. Today, since it's just me and Riley right now, I'm I feel more free to take breaks whenever we want. And I also don't have, I mean, I want to make good progress on the trail, but I don't have like a specific destination that really we have to get to, like we had yesterday. So that just means I'm able to go at a more relaxed pace, and I won't get as exhausted. Like you can get exhausted on any trail, like the terrain will make you exhausted if it's really tough, even if you're taking lots of breaks. But even if the terrain is really nice, if you're just pushing yourself really hard, like if you're running a mile on a flat track and you're just going as fast as you can, you're going to get just as tired, just as exhausted, probably more so than if you're going at a relaxed pace on a very difficult trail. I'm sure that's not news to anybody, but it's interesting how that works. It's not just like, obviously the terrain makes a big difference in terms of how tired you feel. Definitely affects what muscle groups you're using, how much you have to concentrate, but how tired you feel is very much dependent on how hard you're pushing yourself also, obviously. So, what else do I have to say? Yeah, for dinner last night, they served ham. Honey made the ham. And they served baked potato. They had regular potato and sweet potato. And they had a large tossed salad. Everything was family style, so they served everything on large plates, and you just pick up, take what you want. And they had corn on the cob, and they had biscuits, and of course they had butter to top everything with, and they had a pineapple relish or pineapple salsa, which they said was for the ham, but you could really put it on whatever you want. And then they had lemonade and lemon iced tea to drink, which was wonderful. I love something sweet to drink. And they had plenty of dressings to choose from. They had Thousand Island ranch dressing, Italian dressing, and a lemon poppy seed dressing. And so I had one like large chunk of ham, and I had half a sweet potato, half a regular potato. Put a generous amount of butter on them. I had one biscuit. I think I just had one biscuit, and I put butter on that as well. And I had a good amount of salad. I had 2 bowls, but the second bowl I finished the larger bowl because I saw that no one else wanted any. So I had a lot of salad, and I kind of mixed up the dressings. I had ranch plus Thousand Island plus the lemon poppy seed, and that was very good. And I ate enough so that I was full at the end, but I wasn't uncomfortably full. And then for dessert, they had apple crisp, and they had a tray of brownies, and they had vanilla ice cream, and they had a can of whipped cream. And so I had a bowl of apple crisp with vanilla ice cream and whipped cream, and then I finished that, and then went back for seconds, and I had some more apple crisp, and I had a brownie and more ice cream and more whipped cream. And so, yeah, wonderful, wonderful dinner. I was very hungry and enjoyed it a lot, and enjoyed the conversation and the company as well. Riley. All right, I'm going to see if Riley will continue on here. Hold up, buddy. Let me get up. Hold up. Riley, stay there. Hold up. And my pack is really heavy now. Really, really heavy. But most of it's food, and so that just gives Riley, well, that gives me you know, something to look forward to as we enjoy eating our food. I'm thinking my current food supply will last us at least until the town of Stratton, Maine, which is about 58 miles from here. Another important destination is the Kennebec River crossing, which is about 95 miles from where we started today. We started today about mile 1950, and the Kennebec River crossing is about mile 2045, I think. And so it's about 95 miles from here, and you have to take a ferry to get across. And the ATC, the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, I believe, pays for a ferry to take hikers across the river for free. I think I explained this yesterday, but it only lasts until September 30th. So I am not close to 100% confident at all that we're going to get there before the 30th, which means we'll just have to pay $50 whenever we get there. But there's still a chance that we could get there by the 30th. Today's the 23rd, so including today, we have 8 hiking days to get there to make 95 miles. So that is about 12 miles a day, so it's possible. So we might as well try to get there. Apparently Riley does not forget about the people behind us. He was hiking all right. Anyway, so we'll see how, today and tomorrow and the rest of the month goes for September. But I think it would be a good goal to try to get to the Kennebec River crossing before the 30th. And we'll just see how it goes. And of course, if we can do that, then that'll make it that much easier for us to, get to Katahdin before the 15th of October. And it would help if Mr. Riley would just walk with me. I was also able to call my parents last night. My mom told me to try to make your videos shorter, because she's doing all the work to upload them to YouTube, and it takes a long time. She has to spend more time when I have longer videos. So sorry, Mom. I know I'm rambling, but I hope you appreciate me filling in all the details about my experience at the cabin and talking about what I'm excited to talk about. So I will stop it there, and we will, right now I'm just thankful for the the flat terrain here. Hopefully it continues to be fairly pleasant. I hear voices behind me now. So this is called rebar here. Rebar. Guess I should throw my poles up as a first step. Riley, stay there. You're fine. Riley, come on. Look at that, Riley. You are so amazing. You just friggin' jumped and you killed it. Good job, Riley. Hold up. Hold up, Riley. Slow down, Riley. Oh my goodness, what an amazing boy. The rest of this doesn't look quite as hard. Go ahead, Riley. Good boy. You got it, Riley. You got it. Hold up, Riley. Riley, hold up. Hold up. You got it, Riley. Go ahead. Hold up, Riley. Hold up, Riley. You're fine, buddy. I definitely hear voices behind me. I think those 3 hikers are about to catch up to us. I think we're still going up Old Blue Mountain. I think there was an initial steep climb and then a flat area. And I think this might be the second steep climb that we're doing now. And we are making slow progress, one step at a time. I realized I didn't finish my story about Scorp and his what he says he gets for food. So he says he gets pretty much the same thing each time. He says he does ramen. All right, we're gonna have to check in later because Riley sees the people behind us. Riley is poking through my legs. And this does not look super easy with all the friggin' branches here. Like, what the hell? I'm sorry, what the heck? What in the world? All right, I guess, all right, I'm gonna climb up over here and then try to climb up on the tree trunk here. Oh, brother. Riley, oh, come on, man. Dude, come on, Riley. This is not helping me, Riley. Come on. Riley, get back here. Get back here, Riley. Get back here. Riley, get back here. Get back here. Riley, back here. Come on, back here. Back here, Riley. Come on. Come on, Riley. Come on, buddy. Riley, come on, buddy. Over here, Riley. Come on. Riley, back here. Back here. Back here. Come on. Over here, Riley. Come on. Oh, you're like, okay. I can just go this way, right? No. Because there's something called a leash, Riley. Come on, man. Just follow me. Come on. Riley, come on. You have to go further back, dude. Come on, Riley. Riley. Hold up, buddy. Riley, wait. 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 Riley, wait. Wait. Wait, wait, wait. Hold up, buddy. Stay there. Oh, my goodness. What in the world? Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay, this is not good. How did this happen? All right, I need to... The leash just came friggin' off the hook. All right, so... I think this will have to work for now. I just have this hooked in here and this, yeah, just hooked like this. So at least he's connected to the leash. And as long as this thing holds, then hopefully it'll be okay. We'll see. Mr. Riley. Van Gogh and Riley here. We are on top of Bemis Mountain. Pretty sure we're on top of Bemis Mountain. There's these characteristic Maine Appalachian Trail Club signs that are here. Let me show it. It's right over there. But to show it, I gotta stand up and pick my pack up. I was resting it nicely. Riley, hold up. We're not going yet. I was resting it nicely on the rock there. Riley, I just want to show this sign. Bemis Mountain, 3,592 feet. Main Highway 17, 6.3. So we've come 7 miles today from South Arm Road. 1.7 miles to the next shelter, Bemis Mountain Lean-To. Hold up, buddy. Just a second, Riley. This is a nice rock here because I can sit down on it. And then there's enough room for my pack to just rest right behind me. And it gives my shoulders a nice rest, and I don't even have to take my pack off. So, one of the things I picked up in, I think it was in the pretty sure it was in one of the hiker boxes in one of the White Mountain huts, was a pack of cable ties, black cable ties. It was just a small plastic bag that had like 20 cable ties. And I figured, like, it's extremely lightweight. And I figured, given my pack trouble, like the issue I've been having with the issue I had with my right shoulder strap, where I needed to use the paracord to keep it fastened to my pack. I figured that just carrying the cable ties could come in handy if I need to fasten something or connect something in the future, should something go wrong. So I decided to take one of the cable ties at our last break. Riley, come here. Come here, buddy. Riley's not coming, but so I just basically connected the leash to his harness with a cable tie. It was already connected with kind of jerry-rigged with the metal hook that came out of its socket, but I was still able to connect it with the metal hook. But just for additional security, I attached a cable tie, and now that seems pretty secure now. So I have two things securing the leash to his harness, and the cable tie is pretty strong. I can trim that down so it's not sticking out like that, but I feel better about this situation now, so that's good. I'm just gonna sit down here for a bit and let my shoulders rest. My pack is feeling very heavy, because it is very heavy, and we're also getting late in the day, so that's causing my shoulders to feel the strain. I don't think I ever finished the story about Scorp telling me his food habits, but the thing about the Skittles is that he said he pretty much eats pretty healthy. Like, he has ramen isn't particularly healthy, but he has ramen, but then he supplements that with like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and seasoned peanuts. So he likes to do like actual nuts and seeds. But then for his guilty pleasure, he buys Skittles. And so he's telling me this yesterday. And so I saw some Skittles in the Mills Market in Andover and decided to buy a small pouch, 7 ounces. Figured I could enjoy it. And once that issue with Riley's leash happened, I was carrying the Skittles in my left pocket here. I just started snacking on them, and I finished the whole bag. So this is the bag here. It's a beautiful bag, very pretty bag, but there's no Skittles anymore. They're all in my tummy now. I can still taste the flavor in my mouth. Uh-oh, I think Riley sees something. So, all right, we're gonna have to get moving again soon. The trail is it looks kind of nice here, but it's been pretty tough for a good portion of the day. Just lots of rocks and roots and turns, and yeah, but that's the trail for you. So we're gonna get moving again pretty soon. So this is a pretty good view here. You can see lots of lakes in the distance. Lots of lakes, big lakes, lots of water. This is something I remember from my 2018 hike about Maine, is that whenever you get up to a mountaintop and you have a good view, you see so many lakes. Many more lakes than you see in like New Hampshire or other states. So good for the lakes, yay! Something else that's on my mind, we are descending, well, we're on Bemis Mountain now, And there is the shelters from the last sign that we saw, it was like 1.7 miles. And then somewhere, Riley, wait. Somewhere after the shelter, there's the something called the Second Peak of Bemis Mountain. Riley, wait. And there's this hiker, pretty popular YouTuber. Her channel is Taylor the Nahamsha Hiker. She's got a really popular YouTube channel. And she has hiked the AT twice, I believe. And she did an interview on a podcast with a guy named Kyle. I think the podcast is called Trail Tales. And the guy Kyle, he has a popular YouTube channel called Kyle Hates Hiking. He also happens to be someone that I met on my 2018 hike before he became relatively famous on YouTube. Anyway, so I listened to this interview that Taylor did with Kyle a while back, and she was describing her second thru hike of the AT. I think it was her second thru hike. I think actually she started the AT in like 2020, and then she had to get off because of the COVID issue, and then she got back on the next year at the beginning, and she thru hiked it. And then maybe the next year or a couple years later, she decided to thru hike it again. And so she was talking about her second full thru hike. But I don't think it was a full thru hike, because I think she had to get off, or she decided to get off around this very area. And she described it, and I know she went back to try to fill in what she missed later on. But anyway, the point is that I wanted to bring up is I thought it was an interesting interview on the podcast Trail Tales, and she described in great detail a lot about her second thru hike, but also like what led to her getting off trail. And it's interesting that, as I recall from listening to the podcast, sorry for belaboring here, I'm just taking a long time to get to the point, but what she described is that she I think it was around June, and she said that it had been raining for like many days in a row, and she was just sick and tired of the rain, which is totally understandable. It's a real downer whenever it rains and it's cold out, but especially when it's just raining and raining. And so she said that she was going to be picked up by her mom at a road crossing. And the next good road crossing to get picked up is Main Route 17, which from the last sign on the top of Bemis Mountain, it's like 6.3 miles from here. But I think she was at the Second Peak, which is a lot closer to Main Route 17. And I think she called her mom from that peak, because she had service there, and she was planning to get picked up. She only had a few miles to go to get to the road, and then get picked up, and then she was gonna, I think, just go home for the night or something and get a good night's sleep, get some food, and then get back on trail. But because it was raining so much, she descended the mountain, and I think she got to this dirt road called Bemis Mountain Road, something like that. And apparently there's a stream down there which you have to ford, or she had to ford. But because of all the rain, apparently the stream or the river was just too high to ford safely, and she couldn't figure out a way to do it. And she didn't want to do something that was dangerous. So she ended up, but she also knew that her mom was waiting for her, and and she didn't have service to call her mom after she got off the mountain. So she ended up hiking all the way back up the mountain to get service again, to call her mom and let her know what the deal was and why she couldn't get to the road to be picked up. I think I'm relating her story correctly. And then she ended up, I guess, coming up with a plan to meet her mom at Bemis Mountain Road, which is much more difficult because apparently it's a much smaller road and it's just not very easy to, like, it's a road so you can get there by car, but it's just much less traveled and probably harder to get to. But as long as you have GPS and it's working, you can follow the GPS, I'm sure. But so I think she made a plan to meet her mom at Bemis Mountain Road. And so she hiked back down the mountain, down to where she was again, where that stream was, where Bemis Mountain Road is. And then she said she hiked like a really long distance on that road, and eventually she was able to reconnect with her mom and get home and get dry and get a good night's rest and get some good food and get safe. But she said like that whole ordeal just like was like the nail in the coffin for her continuing the hike at that point. And she was like, I'm done. I'm getting off trail. I do not want to come back. And eventually she came back to try to finish the section that she hadn't completed. But I just happened to remember that because I'm very sure she was talking about Bemis Mountain and Bemis Mountain Road, and that's exactly the area that we're in now and the area that we're approaching. So we already passed the first peak and we are approaching the second peak. Not sure if we'll get there tonight. I would like to if possible, but we'll see. And then we're gonna get down to that road, Bemis Mountain Road, where she eventually walked a really long distance and reconnected with her mom. And we'll be able to see that stream that was raging so hard at the time after all the rain that she couldn't ford it safely. So it'll be interesting. I'm sorry, I'm not speaking very well. But it will be interesting to see what it looks like. It shouldn't cause a problem for Riley and I because it has not been raining much, so it should definitely be navigable for us. But it'll be interesting to see nevertheless after hearing Taylor's experience on that podcast, I think. So yeah, just wanted to share that. When we get down to that stream and the road, I will try to take some footage to show what it looks like. Two miles to Old Railroad Bed. We're at Bemis Mountain Second Peak. 2 miles, such a long way. It is so friggin' dark out here. Thank goodness it is not raining. Okay, onward we go. All right, good evening. Just want to close out the day here. Riley and I have made it to a spot to camp for the night, and we are in our tent. It is 9:11 p.m. right now, and we hiked about 0.6 of a mile after that Bemis Mountain Second Peak that I showed on the last video. And we finally started hiking down the mountain and got under a tree line, and there were not, I was not aware of any campsites until Bemis Mountain Road. which is the old logging road that was referred to on the sign on the second peak. There weren't any campsites noted in far out. No comments about campsites until just after that road. But I was still looking for some, and I found a stealth spot. In case anyone doesn't know, a stealth spot is like it's a place to camp that's not an established campsite. And so I found a relatively open area that is relatively flat, that had enough room to set up our tent. It's really not ideal. I mean, it's not bad for us, but it's not ideal as a spot to set up the tent, because there is like some plant life around here. So I feel like I am disturbing the plant life a bit. So that's not good. But I was just really ready to stop. We're 1.4 miles away from Bemis Mountain Road, and we could have hiked there if we had to, but it's already totally dark and it's cold, and I just don't want to hike anymore. Just don't feel like it. It's good that we got off the above tree line area. I mean, we had to get off the above tree line area, but that continued for quite a while, between the first and the second peak, and it was getting tricky to continue to follow the cairns in the dark. Anyway, so I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we can just relax now and get ready for sleep. Have some food. Have some dinner. I'm finally hungry. I wasn't hungry much of the day because I had so much food yesterday evening. But yeah, I've worked up an appetite now. Yeah, I keep thinking about how wonderful staying at the cabin was last night. Darlene is the other hiker, the section hiker that was there last night, and she actually got up very early this morning and got a ride to the trail, and apparently got on trail around 7:20 in the morning. Very early. That was her plan. And she was hoping to hike 13 miles today to get to Main Route 17. And then she was planning to go back to the cabin, spend the night, and then get on trail tomorrow and hike probably like another 12 or 13 miles to get to some other road. And then I think she's going to go back to the cabin again. So I'm not sure if I said it, but Ryan and I hiked 10.8 miles. So Darlene hiked farther than we did. But she also started much earlier. So hopefully she's having a good night at the cabin. It's a great place. I would have loved to have gone back. But I mean, to get back, to have gone back, I would have had to have started earlier and then, done the same thing that Darlene did. But it seems a little excessive to spend 2 nights in a row at a hostel. Anyway, we're gonna have a good night here. When I went up to sign the table this morning, Honey came in. Honey is her trail name. Her actual name is Marge, but Honey came in and she offered me she was like, I have a third of a loaf of banana bread. Would you like it? And of course I accepted. And then she also said, we have all these leftover blueberry pancakes. Would you like these? Like they weren't hot pancakes. They were leftovers, so they were in a plastic bag from the fridge. So she gave me like 15 blueberry pancakes to pack out, plus a third of a loaf of banana bread. So that brings a big smile to my face. I'm very glad that I have them, this wonderful food to look forward to. I was snacking earlier and had some of the pancakes, but I still have plenty to eat. So that's a real nice treat to have. It's good that I got Riley's leash issue taken care of. That when I first saw it happen, I was like, oh no, things keep going wrong. But I think it'll hold for the rest of the hike the way it is. So it's good that that's in a decent spot, and Riley is still secure in my opinion. And I'm just glad we got off that. I'm just repeating myself now. I'm just glad we got off the above tree line area on Bemis Mountain. Don't really like being above tree line when it's dark out and it's cold out. So I once we got back under tree line, I was like, this is good. Things are improving here. And then fortunately we found this campsite. And so we will say goodnight for day number 144, I think. Monday, September the 23rd. So good night, and if you're watching this, hope you're doing well. And Riley and I will check in tomorrow. Bye for now.